Welcome back to another Brew Spy, the Magic Guy, and I'm your host, Sean. So, today we've got more Crabgaak Bridgevine. This is the Bridgevine list with the greedy blue splash for a few Hedron crabs. We're also trying Revival as a way to return the Altars of Dementia. But the best way to see this deck in action is, well, to see this deck in action. But hopefully you guys are having a nice Tuesday, wherever you might be in the world. Hope things are going well. Oh yeah, we lost the dice roll, but this hand's pretty decent. I mean, it's crab with a fetch land. I mean, we have to test this kind of a hand at some point, right? No, it's the mirror match. What's up, vegan? No, it's the mirror match. No. Hogak. Robot House. Alright, so we got a bunch of things that want to be in the graveyard. Well, one that doesn't care whether or not he's in the graveyard, but two that want to be in the graveyard. It is not the mirror match. Opponent is playing Grishelbrand, or some variation. I might still lead Crab since we have a fetch. And then I'll play Supplier before we play the land, because we could hit Bloodghast. Am I dead? Crab is a 1-drop for getting out Vengevine. We'll see if the Gemstone Mines make the mana a lot happier for this deck. That was kind of... So this is my first league playing a Crabgaak version of the list. So, crabs. It's not my first attempt. We cut one crab and then we added the revival and we changed the mana base to incorporate Gemstone Mine. Alright. Ooh, another Stitcher Supplier? Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Alright. Land. Mill myself. Not bad. We get to get out this Vengevine. I guess we do it through the feeder. I mean, technically, if you want to get technical, chat, I like to get technical. Yeah, Vengevine is classic. Yeah, this is old school. So we're trying out that technology here. Yeah, I didn't. I promise you, I didn't. I wasn't trying to say this was original. I don't think I've seen anybody else try it in this Hogak deck yet. It doesn't tap for Hogak, admittedly. I guess we play the other supplier. I mean, there's merit to just playing feeder. There is merit to that. Just playing feeder. Another Hedron Crab trigger. Okay. I guess the benefit of feeder is I get to start making some zombies, though. Yes, yield. Sacrifice the supplier, get a bridge trigger. There's a Bloodghast, a little bit too late. Alright, so Hogak off of the summoning sick creatures. Although Crab can pay for his colorless part, might as well. It's not attacking anyway. Bunch of lands. I guess we stop there. Is there more we can do here? Yes, I technically could get another Bridge from Below trigger by cracking, like, Legend ruling this Hogak. That's not worth it, really. Should just smash. Yeah, Hedron Crab finally doing some work. We had to draw it. Pentad Prism, am I dead? Because we have lethal on board. Right? Unless he has shenanigans, we have lethal. Let's make it super lethal, right? Dump. Dump. Undo. Thankfully, we can do that. So with hedron crabs also incorporated in this build, we're gonna see a lot more of our deck. So I think these are sweet. I mean, maybe I won't cut them as much as I have been. Like, sure, they're just a three of, right? Because they're off color for Hogak. They're not a zombie, right? Unfortunately. Wonder if we should just play the five color Painland. You might be right, vegan. That's a good question. Um, I'm not sure. All right, Gemstone felt great there, but we also like didn't have another land to pair with it very quickly. It did get used up. It's much better in Dredge, right? Because they play Life from the Loam, so they don't really care. I guess we kind of do. I could see like a five color Pain land being where we go. Maybe with the next build. It's reasonable. Because, right, we want our lands to give us mainly red-black, but we also have green sideboard and we have blue spells. So they're playing Goryo's Breach. Let's play Dispels that counters it. Thoughtseize can help us pick their combo apart. They are A plus B. They'll be playing Leyline. How do we want to fight Leyline? Do we want to be on the Truth plan that fights multiple? Something else to think about because our colors are so constrained. I will cut Crab post board. I know. I was trying to keep it in, but we're gonna cut it. Um, so that buys me the Thoughtseizes. It's not like he's blocking. I'm gonna favor Vengevine over Bloodghast here slightly. But yeah, do we want some outs? Wow. Do we want some outs to Leyline? Do we think they're on? I mean, like, since I don't really know exactly what hate he's on, like, we should maybe do some form of truth and trophy. We could also, again, just try to fight over his hand a little bit. I'm into that. Let's play the truths first. These are a little bit better when it comes to leyline, just in case the opponent has the double leyline. That was something that I really liked having the blue splash for, just in general. Even when we ran the deck before, just being able to answer multiple ley lines is nice. It's not uncommon that the opponent will mulligan and find multiple. Um, Not all that uncommon. We can cut one feeder since we brought in another sacrifice outlet. And give me one trophy. Just as kind of like another catch-all. We're overboarding a little bit here, perhaps, right? Because we've cut crabs and we've cut bloodghasts. So maybe I did a little bit of over sideboarding, but I kind of want to see. I mean, again, I could have just looked up their list and maybe gotten a pretty good idea as to what kind of graveyard hate they like to employ. This hand seems fine. It's not amazing. I mean, if you're playing Gemstone over a five-color Pain land, that's me saying I'm less concerned with color. I'm more concerned with how much damage we're taking. Which again, like the mana base is a fetch shock mana base. You know, kind of like you'll see in like Shadow anyway. Speaking of which, Shadow is a one mana creature. Hint, hint. Vengevine? Venge Shadow? Surely I'm joking. So let's. We're gonna take the damage anyway. So much damage. Boar, Chalice, mana. We really do care if he chalices, though. Unfortunately. Ilharg does not have haste. That is something that the deck has been trying to fix for some time. I've seen people even play like Hall of the Bandit Lord. Death Shadow could be fun though. It's one way to fight hate. Yeah, just play Death Shadows. It makes me more excited about the Painland. Horny vegan. Play shadows with our flex slots. There's about four flex slots in the deck. It's these, right? Like these are pretty canon, although I have slimmed on feeder and crawler a little bit, which you don't really want to do, but I am doing. So like you don't really want to cut this core. This core is about give or take 38 or so cards of the deck, arguably 40 if you want to play the playsets of feeder and crawler. But they actually don't. They're just good leading up to the combo. They don't actually have anything to do necessarily whilst you're comboing. So like you have about 3 or 4 card slots to play around with. So right now I'm playing around with Crab, and Revival is another way to. It's kind of like a fifth Altar of Dementia, but on occasion it's just gonna get back like Neonate or maybe like Supplier, Feeder, or whatever we need. Gets back sideboard cards. Opponent is tanking, so I'm assuming we're okay. Oh no, he had land. He was just kind of slow rolling it. All right, we got to go off here. Fetch land's going to be better while we're coming up. Honestly, I should just put the Vengevine in the graveyard here. Should just put that in the bin. We know opponent didn't draw any graveyard hate. Another Neonate. Okay. So the problem with me going Altar is we have to combo off, right? We do have double bridge. Yeah, I mean we have to combo off here, right? There's Hogak. That's convenient. I mean, we're just going for it here, so. Hogak. Tap, tap. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that gets us back this Vengevine, which is very relevant. We're going to look at some more cards. Honestly, though, we're already there, right? Because since we've seen double bridge, I just kind of want to see one more Hogak. Second Hogak. Who's the combo deck now, opponent? Alright, so we do the thing. 26 cards left. Oh, we can't mill them out. They have Emrakul's. What am I doing? I was supposed to be trying to set up disruption, right? This is where we would need like an aristocrat effect or like a way to give our team haste somehow. Yeah, there's no way I can mill him out, right? Alright, if I stayed at 16, played Gemstone, you could have won. Because we blocked the Ilharg and he Emrakul's. Yeah, there's no way we can actually mill him out. We're just going to get to see sideboard cards. He's on the Generator Servant build. Yeah, this is kind of I was all excited. I'm like, wait, we don't win. Unfortunately, that's how this works. I mean, I can't imagine you cut Emrakul's in this matchup, right? Maybe I should have cut Altars, actually. Do we cut Altars when our opponents... Do we honestly cut altars when our opponents have Emrakul's? Yeah. This is where we would need surgical. I don't have flying protection, flying blocks. If I had a flying blocker, it'd be relevant. If I could bring back enough Vengevines to swing to force him to block with the Ilharg, it'd be relevant too. That's still a little disappointing. Could have taken 15 from Emrakul swing back, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about it. It's not like we even had the Annihilator trigger happen. So us milling him out is kind of irrelevant. I'm sorry I didn't think about it, chat. I'm not actually running any graveyard hate, hard graveyard hate, really. No, not really. I got like some exiling stuff, but so we'll cut the altars. Try to go for a more disruptive plan. Trophy. Put some Bloodghasts back in, perhaps. I mean, if we don't have the infinite combo, I'm kind of tempted to maybe even cut a Hogak for cutting all the altars. He's just value at that point. I'm not saying he's not strong. The fourth Hogak may still be stronger than some number of Bloodghasts. But this would be 3 Ghast. Trophy, Shenanigans, Dispel, Therapist, Thoughtseize. Yeah, that seems fine. Let's run it back. Mill the deck and see for hate cards. Oh yeah, we saw Anger of the Gods. I should have brought in the Golgari Charm. So we did see Anger. We did see that. I think this hand still probably leads on Neonate. We have Bridge. Yeah, so we should have brought in the Golgari Charm. I think it's going to be okay. I know I can't cast this Assassin's Trophy with this mana, but that'll be okay. We'll probably see third land, chat. We'll probably see third land, and it's most likely to be a fetch or a it's likely to be a fetch or a gemstone. Yeah, this should have come in. Axe Servant. Now, Lighting Servant gives the creature haste. That is a way that they do it. Make a dude, because it puts the bridge in the graveyard before it actually technically gets sacrificed, which is kind of neat. We can dump the other bridge. Dump this, dump that. Oops. Therapist. You name Ilharg here, right? Because of the servant. It does say if. But yeah, we've got the other stuff checked pretty good. Pretty well. Nice. Not bad, not bad. So his hand isn't really much else after doing that. I mean, if we want to fight over their braid, Truth, Bounce Therapist, or Dispel works. Because it's our green source. Could also just flashback looting. When we get a free attack here, he's got Menace. I mean, I'm fine maybe even just trophying this servant. I'd probably do it in their end step though. Or well, once he attacks with it, I think we're fine to just kill it. It only cuts them off 1 mana, I suppose, in the end. I know we don't want it to die, bridges. Yeah, we really don't want him to just sack that because we lose our bridges. That's truth. That is true. That is really true. Maybe I should have just lootinged. Yeah, I almost forgot about my bridges. We don't really want to use this on, like, creatures. Flashback looting. That's what the necrotic wounds are for, if we want to be removing creatures and not lose our bridges. This is more so, like, aimed at sideboard hate. Hits a variety of things. Everything from leyline and anything smaller. Yeah, I did almost forget about my bridges. That would have been a mess. Alright, so down goes the Grizzlebrand. He exiled that Simeon. This sets him back a little bit. We can take the Emrakul and it shuffles his Grizzlebrand back into his deck. I lose the Therapist, but I make 2 zombies. I think I'm fine with that at this point. So I'm going to name Emrakul here. This is where the shuffle's kind of nice, actually. Yeah, we knew about the Generator Servant, the Abrade. Okay, Anger's new. Anger is unfortunate. This is where I really wish I had the Golgari Charm. Yes, this is his hand here. Maybe we can just looting, try to set something up. We're not in danger of anything really happening next turn. Yeah, so we can dump this Bloodghast. Maybe even dump an extra trophy, because like this land represents getting back this Bloodghast. Kind of want to keep the Dispel. Hits through the breach, hits Goryo's Vengeance. Okay, so there's Servant. And again, he really could just toast Servant and get rid of our bridges if he wanted to. If they wanted to. A little exposed to Anger the Gods here. A little bit. He might go for it here, right? Like, he has an Emrakul. Maybe he dumps... Or no, we took the Emrakul, didn't we? Yeah, I took the Emrakul. Dumps through the breach. Dumps Lightning Axe. Okay. So he's trying to set up for this Anger, it looks like. That also takes care of the Servant. Venge. Don't really want to play this Vengevine into my opponent's Anger the Gods. So we'll rebuild okay. Not great. We'll rebuild okay. Should be a block here, right? Guess not. Because I can go get Overgrown too, and we can just hardcast this guy. We can do it the hard way. So go with my bridges. Could do something bad like trophy my Bloodghast, right? But with respect to Ilharg, like... Alright, so... green. He does get to put it third from the top if he wants to. He probably will. Opponent is on 7. I think we kill him here with the Vengevine. I don't really see an out. And again, like here, we're like fully using up this gemstone again, right, chat? Actually, just let's leave up the watery grave. Yeah, gemstone's been good so far, I guess. Nice. So we got half of our buy-in back, even though we lost our first round in this league. So we're 2-1 already. Not bad, not bad. Deck is resilient. Deck is scary. Deck isn't even running any graveyard hate. We won a graveyard match. No graveyard hate. Graveyard hate's overrated. It's overrated, chat. We just have to Assassin's Trophy their 6/6. It's pretty standard modern right there. You know, you just Assassin's Trophy the 6/6. If I was playing that list, I would consider playing Hall the Bandit Lord. Because I think the haste on Ilharg is that important that it might be nice for the mana base to supply, yeah, to supply you with haste on occasion. It's a really bad land though. I mean, I wouldn't take away a land to play it. I would just incorporate it into the deck overall. There's got to be like one flex slot you could give up to run that in your mana base. So I think Ilharg's on the weak side without haste, but that's just my thought. Maybe it's because we want it to do a Through the Breach impersonation. Maybe that's why I like the idea of that land. You don't like that one red sack add to? Yeah, like you can just cut those and then just let your like add some utility in your mana base. You could play like the legendary creature gets haste, which is Hall of the Bandit Lord. You could play. Actually, we're gonna lead on Hedron Crab with this hand. Double fetch. I think I'm gonna lead Crab. Classic Hogak Bridgevine plays, right? Turn 1 Hedron Crab. We get to see 6 cards next turn if it lives. Which is the same amount of cards you get to see with Stitcher, except Stitcher is a better card. Oh, you know what? I could have looted the... Oh, no, I couldn't. I didn't have red. I was thinking about looting the Bloodghasts first. That is not a route we can take here, chat. I might even just deploy this Altar of Dementia. I mean, clearly this is not the mirror match because they would have had a 1-drop. This is clearly like John Mardu Pyromancer, something of the sort. Yeah, Hall the Bandit Lord would be sweet. I think that would be great in the deck. I don't know if I'd play more than one. I mean, maybe. Maybe. It is a Faithless Looting deck. Deck is designed to see lots of cards. Maybe you'd even try 2. Like, the legendary probably doesn't happen as much as you'd think. Opponents like wondering why we're targeting us. We're targeting us because we're actually this. Like, I guess a lot of the time you assume mill, right? When you see Hedron Crab, but no. We're targeting us. We would like to dump 6 cards, please. That's more than a Stinkweed Imp sees. This is one more card, like Hedron Crab plus fetch. We're seeing one more card than you do with yeah. Hopefully opponent's coming back. Opponent is doing some internet research trying to find Hedron Crab decks that target themselves. So yeah, I mean, some of the nice things about the Blue Splash really are the sideboard, though. Yeah. Okay, so we didn't hit any of the goods. We did not hit the goods, chat. Another mill. Crab doesn't work with Altered Dementia either. Ooh, that sucks that we can't bring it out. Right, we didn't hit another. Oh, okay. Opponent just assumes that I was going to get those Vengevines into play. I wasn't. I was not. No idea what our opponent's on. If they are an Emrakul deck, these are dead, but I don't want to cut them. I'm fine with cutting Revival, though, maybe. And maybe Crabs. So let's hit most of the hate in the format with these four. I think that's all I'm going to board. Like, we could overboard a little bit. These are more specific, right? So Trophy hits anything. Truth hits anything. Shenanigans and Golgari Charm, these are more specific, right? This is anti-sweeper or hits enchantment hate. Shenanigans hits artifacts, and we can keep bringing it back. Dispels, useful for a variety of types of hate, right? This hits specifically surgical, specifically ravenous trap, that kind of graveyard hate. Thoughtseize for everything else. Maybe I will just run the Thoughtseizes and the Therapist, just because we have no idea what we're up against. It's probably like a fair deck. I probably just want to run the Hate Breakers instead of, like, we're also not on the play. We don't know what we're looking to take. We could also play the Torgar sideboard plan. Like, in the dark, when I don't know if my opponent's going to have really good graveyard hate options, maybe we should just bring in Torgar. When I bring in Torgar, I usually cut Vines. I also should consider cutting some number of Vines when we take out the Crabs, right? So maybe I should take out some number of Venges. I think the Vengevine will still work, but they're also the harder card to pull off post-board if we're cutting some of our one-drops, just in general. So that gives me 2 more slots if we want to play around with, like, Therapist, maybe the Thoughtseize. I just happen to like Therapist. I'm just into this card. I like it. Maybe a little bit of overboarding, right? We're switching into our Plan B or Plan T for Torgar. This is not a keep, even though it's got all the sideboard card. Well, so if this were to draw second land, any land, it turns on the trophy because every other single land in our deck will be black mana, right? There isn't a land in the deck that wouldn't give us black for the trophy. We are on the draw. This hand, it does at least cast Gravecrawler. Now, we're only an 18 land deck, though. So let's do the math here. 53, 18 into 53. Let's see what our percentages look like. Numbers, running the numbers. 18 into 53. It's almost 34% that we're going to see it on our next draw. I think I'm going to keep it. I probably should mulligan, but I think I'm going to keep it. No Leyline. Oh, is this the mirror? He just didn't play a 1-drop? That's bizarre. It can't be the mirror. They would have tried to, like, exile my bridges and stuff. I would be very surprised if this was the mirror. So the stock list is playing Black Cleave. No, it's oh, did we get queued against our same opponent? Maybe we should have checked his name. I recognize the avatar. Did we literally just queue against the same opponent twice in a row? That's really funny. I think we're playing the same matchup. Well, that sucks because we're not doing the board plan that I'd like to be doing against them. Yep, it's the same match. It's the same guy. We got queued against the same opponent. I didn't even notice. That would make sense, though, for him going Black Cleave Scoop. This is the Chalice. It's okay. We can beat Chalice. Just need to draw land. He's only on 3 cards. Opponent has turned off his own Faithless Lootings. I don't really want to trophy this. Do nothing? Okay. Bridge. We can discard that. Yeah, Magic Online matchmaking for sure. It's a little bizarre. Okay, so we're not actually gonna just trophy this immediately, or we're gonna swing. We're gonna hold up the trophy for maybe blasting a Grizzlebrand or something. Do I really want to put the opponent or give the opponent the problem with turning on the truth and bouncing the chalice instead of giving them fifth land, which yes, fifth land is dangerous. It turns on their combo potentially. Um, I think it's better that we just turn on our looting. Sure, we're turning back on his looting as well, but oh, he was S6 there. I mean, their deck is scary on fifth land, but if they have it, they have it. Okay, so we see another land. Let's looting. A Thoughtseize, okay. Let's dump this and this. I mean, we could sit on the trophy and the truth. I don't have to just go for Thoughtseizing. It might still be correct to Thoughtseize though. Like these don't really save us from their combo, not really. They're just gonna put something into play here. Oh well, that suggests he's just still missing pieces though. Let's Thoughtseize. Yeah, it suggested he was still missing pieces. So we take Ilharg. His hand is Lightning Axe, Grizzledad. Looting. Okay. Emrakul, we're dead. We'll just look at Goryo's Vengeance to me. Yep. But now we know that we just got paired against the same exact... It's not even that we got paired against the same deck. We got paired... I recognize the name in the picture. We literally got paired against the exact same opponent. Now, Revival does actually stop them from doing that. These are dead. Bring me this. Give me this for Anger, which we would have done last time. Give me the Dispels. Cool. We have not yet seen what? We have not yet seen Leyline from the opponent. Let's play Shenanigans for Chalice. And I don't think I want to bother with Bridgevine. I kind of want to stick to the Torgar plan. Although the opponent has yet to show us Graveyard Hate, right? He's just playing Anger, it seems. He cut the Torgars. Yeah, it seems as though that's his plan. These kill Generator Servant without removing our Graveyard. That's relevant considering they are playing those for their mana. Let's not play Torgar or Altar. Let's just be bridgey, reactive, a little bit interactive. All right, so this is a one-lander, but it's got looting. I'll probably keep this. Putting a lot of pressure on this looting, I suppose. I still actually I could just neonate though. Like neonate gets a clock going better. We can still get the Bloodghast into play next turn potentially. I'm sure my opponent's thinking the same thing. They're like, oh, I just lost to this guy. You know? Alright, let's hope to hit the land. We did not. We are in trouble. In multiple ways, we are in trouble. One, missing land drop there not only means I wasn't able to deploy my next threat. I might just be dead here. Yeah. So you might have Goryo's. Looks like he does. That's too bad, chat. Oh. Okay, we're still good. I mean, I have to still draw land, but we play on. He's not just comboing. So we draw land. We're back in the game. Oh, okay. Actually, we're just toast. That's okay. It's a tough matchup, especially if, like, game one we just win and I didn't recognize we were just playing the same guy. Thankfully, it's an exile. We won't lose this bridge. Unfortunately, like, it's very, very low percentage that the opponent doesn't just kill us next turn with some combination of Ilharg or, yep, Emrakul. I'm trying to think if there's like a weird sequence that we could have that actually does get us there. I don't think it exists. That's unfortunate. So we beat this guy, but now we're going to lose to him. In fairness, I kept kind of a greedy hand, right? Like, it was a one-lander, but it had Neonate and Looting. Our second land is deeper than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. Just not, I mean, that happens. It's not an unreasonable percentage that could happen. So, like, as much as I love to chalk this up and say, oh, like, this is a tough matchup for us, like, we're learning a lot. No, it's not. We did just beat the deck, A. B, us being on one land is going to lose a lot of matchups because it means we can't get to the altar. I can't get to some of our sideboard cards, right? So us not making it to second land is kind of more so the story of this second match against this Grizzle Daddy deck, and that's okay. I would assume that our deck certainly loses. Opponent's kind of taking his sweet time over there. I'm going to go ahead and scoop it up. Let's win the next one. We did take 2 matches so far, so in the new league structure, that does mean we've gotten half of our buyback. Am I just playing the same guy over and over again? Let's actually pay attention. Now it's somebody new. All right. I mean, just imagine if we'd paid attention that it was the Grizzle Dad deck, right? Or not paid attention, just recognize that, wait a minute, it's my same opponent. Would have saved us a sideboarding headache for sure. This hand's a great keep. Wow, this is probably the best hand I think we've seen this whole league. We are on the draw, though, so that's like really the only knock I have to this, is that we didn't win the dice roll. All right, Sunbait could be humans. Could be Burn. Yep, so it's going to be the Mono Red Phoenix. Yeah, other than that, I really don't have any complaints, chat. I'm going to lead on Stitcher's Supplier. We hit a Vengevine. We also milled over a Blood Crypt. How kind of you, opponent. So that's a bridge. Alright. Actually, I probably should go with Neonate, not Looting. Looting gives us 2 hits, sure, right? Looting gives me 2 hits to find land, but Neonate would actually give me the Vengevine, potentially. So we're going to go with that plan. So we didn't find it. Doesn't mean that we're screwed. Right, we've got a blocker if we want to. I might not, because we can get Hogak out next turn. Opponent might just kill this zombie anyway. Our opponent is comboing off. That is a Metamorphose. The old Morphos spell looting Phoenix. If we naturally draw land, could we potentially win? Probably not, right? We have a bridge, but... And I can get Hogak out, right? But we're taking a big walloping here. Unless I can really build up our board next turn, we're probably dead. We don't want to block this Phoenix. I mean, this Swift Spear. We block one of these. I don't have the second zombie for Hogak. They've kind of like blown all of their stuff, though. So this might be a reasonable block. Take 5, go to 8. Looting, try to hit land. But we wouldn't be getting a blocker. Like I'd probably have to do something bad, like get feeder, crack feeder to make a blocker. But I don't see a line where okay, we weren't gonna draw it. That's disappointing, chat. So we wouldn't have seen the second land off of this Faithless Looting either. It's okay. Game 2 gets a little bit better for us, I think. I think we get the wounds and we get the dispels, maybe. Maybe Torgar. Maybe even Thoughtseize, just to interact a little bit on the play. Maybe I take these out game 3. Maybe we bring in this 6. Thoughtseize, Dispel, Lava Dart. And again, maybe the better play was to keep these zombies around and try to build up to a Hogak. It's unfortunate that a lot of our mana base is, yeah, fetches. I mean, I can get the Hogak out. If I fetch, we're dead to most of the spells in the deck. We were already at the point of we hope that they brick, right? This will give me 2 blockers. I mean, we have to dodge so much, right? I mean, so much of their deck is just kills us here. Yeah, so much of their deck just kills us. I imagine he's just gonna crack this canyon if he doesn't have Bolt or Lava Spike here. Might as well. I mean, maybe his hand is a bunch of Phoenixes? I have no idea. Even just like spell beats us, cause it doesn't even need to be a direct damage spell, because we only have 2 blockers. Yep, that even kills me. Yep, I don't have a way to. I don't have a way to get the get a blocker off this bridge from below. That will do it. Okay, because we're at 3. So we need to win this matchup, right? We need to win the dice roll, right? That would be good, right, chat? So we just bring in like a lot of our 1-mana interaction. Things that we can cut Crab. When I cut Crab, I like to start cutting Venges. Revival has a real cost to it, but I think that the Altar of Dementia Kill is what we want to do. Let's run it back. I mean, Torgar is decent in this matchup. Maybe the first Torgar is better. And maybe we cut even... Oh. Maybe I'll try to squeeze in the second Torgar next game. Maybe Overfeeder, because they can fulfill a similar role. Alright, I see sideboard card. Let's keep it. Thank you for the host for 5, Soul King. Thanks for that. Appreciate you. Thanks for that. So we're gonna lead off on Stitcher Supplier on a basically. And you'll notice I don't have to worry about green so much after this board, right? Like I'm trying to focus us just on, I guess technically just our red-black. Like if we find the Dispels, we'll want the Watery Grave, but we should be able to just operate off of the colors I'm grabbing. So we're going to get a Bloodghast back next turn potentially. There's 3 creatures in the yard for wound. We can just kill this if we want to do that as well. Our aim though should be to get the Hogak out. I think I want to do this even before... oh, I should leave some creatures in the yard though. Yeah, here's what I was thinking, chat. I was going to get the Hogak in, then do the Bloodghast trigger. Bloodghast trigger on the stack, wound the mage. We probably don't even need to bother killing mage, but... I mean, we did the thing, so they... I mean, like, yes, we played Hogak around Trap. Because you don't actually have to pass priority as far as, like, casting the Delve spell after you mill the 3. Right, because the 3 cards have to enter the graveyard before they could possibly Ravenous Trap you. Stream's good, Soul King. Where were you playing tonight? What were you doing for your stream tonight? Let's get in this. Let's get in this other Torgar. Let's cut a feeder because Torgar also serves as a sacrifice outlet for the deck. Let's run it back. So we brought in the Dispels, the Torgars, the Thoughtseize. We brought out the Crabs, the Venges, and the one of the feeders. Oh, and we should have brought out the... oh, I didn't actually do it. I meant to bring out the Revival. Maybe Revival's going to be fine, right? Maybe this game, since we're on the back foot, we need a combo. This hand's pretty mediocre. There's no discard outlet. This feeder is interesting to think about, but I'm going to bottom it. Double Torgar is not the most wonderful. Let's take a little bit less damage off our mana if we can. I mean, like, maybe that's greedy and maybe we just have to use the Bloodstained here. Use this for, like... But we should try to minimize the damage we're taking. Like, I'm thinking this is going to be Swamp is what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm thinking this is going to be Swamp. Like, especially when the opponent's on the play, we need to minimize damage. I get to block here and put the bridge in the yard, which is nice. We get a free little block here. You went 3-2 Thopter Sword. Nice. So we get a nice little free Bloxy here. Make a token. Guys are making a Tolkien. Making a Tolkien. Uh-oh, surgical. Can't quite necrotic this mage unless we top deck well. Would I be better off with some of these other cards right now? Maybe Crab pays for Torgar a little bit. I think the surgical is going to happen. That's why I also like Dispel a little bit, because I know they like to play this. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, so we still draw the card. Yes, I'd like to. Thank you very much. Maybe he should have waited for the... Well, no, you don't want to wait there. I guess I was thinking maybe waiting makes sense. Because you could maybe, like, maybe what I'm drawing into is bridge, but it doesn't make sense because I get the dude. Tormod's Crypt. This guy's got a lot of hate. If we just kill this Soulscar mage, he doesn't really have another clock. Problem is with Necrotic Wound is he can take me off of... this does need to have creatures in our graveyard. So we draw Blood Crypt. Don't really want him to know that's what I've drawn, but the fetch is technically better for us to just have. So we are indeed in trouble, chat. No, bridge is great in our deck. I mean, when they surgical that, it's definitely one of the best things that they can surgical is definitely bridge from below. So, yep. In my mind, with all the hate people are gunning for our deck with, I'm very pleased to eke out the 2/3s and the 3/2s anymore with the deck. There's been a lot less people jamming it, admittedly, for such reasons. It's still a cool deck to mess around with, but we could jump ship, play something different. Oh my goodness. Could certainly jump ship. I don't actually have another deck planned for you guys tonight. I was thinking of messing around with, because I'm just not going to have enough time this week to grind out enough points to play the modern event. As much as I'd like to, like, I don't get me wrong, Chad, I would. I think we're just too many points away. I would have needed to have been closer to consider, like, no-lifing and grinding the rest of the points needed. We're only at 22 format points. You need 35. So it's probably not a thing. You got a Ninja Brew. I think the 3-mana Ninja that, like, kind of pack rat style makes more of itself is very strong. There's also the blue black one. Oh my goodness, wow. All the hate. Yeah, the blue black the blue black ninja is sweet cuz it's for each ninja, right? Even if it's like a Mutavault. Mutavaults are ninjas too. So you can let's go ahead and fetch here. I have 18, I'll give you some. You can't trade those to my knowledge, Soul King. It's not how that works, but I appreciate you. A bunch of these came from me grinding Hogak when it first came out, but now everybody's kind of prepped for the deck. So there's a bit more graveyard hate than you normally see out of sideboards at the moment, and it's definitely punishing. But the story of this game was I drew both the Torgars. I really only want to see one. And drawing these Hogaks, of course, is bad. It's pretty bad, chat. I don't think I just try to draw a card here. I think I kick it back. We're going to block with this Neonate. And dump a Hogak. See, the problem with Wound and something like Crypt is we're never going to get this spell off. That's kind of my issue with the card overall. I understand why the deck wants this. If anything, it's better in the main deck, and then post board, like anything is up for grabs. That's cool. So he just wants to shot the neonate to clear himself for attacking here. I respect that. He's kind of all in on this mage. If we could have just killed this mage, there never was a window for us to wound the mage. I would have. If we'd ever had a window to necrotic wound the Soul Scar mage, I would have. We actually never did get one. I mean, I could maybe force him to crack one of these Tormod scripts by using the necrotic wound. But surgical Hogak, sure, man. Actually, I'm gonna wound here. So there's 3 creatures in the yard. This technically, he's got no cards in hand. This makes him blow a Tormod's Crypt, and if he blows a Tormod's Crypt, then the surgical doesn't go off on the Hogak. I get to keep the one that's in my hand. Not that that matters all that much. It's fine. This thing's gonna get a lot bigger though, right? So we've got a prowess trigger, prowess trigger, prowess trigger. Drew blood gas. That does not block. That does add to Torgar count. That could actually be how this game goes down, right? We draw a string of cheap creatures, put them into play, use them to cast the Torgar. That could happen. Okay, Neonate. Yeah, that might just be how this goes down. Like maybe I'm just going to play Neonate. And Neonate also blocks the Soulscar Mage. But maybe I don't even want to block. We're at 7. Torgar put myself up to 10. Hang on, 1, 2. I'm doing some Torgar math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just gonna put it into play. Like I feel like our draws have been pretty medium. I don't trust the deck to give us exactly what we need. I mean, I might do a Neonate block. It's just hardcast Phoenix. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Should attack with the mage. Yeah, there you go. So do we really want to prevent 1 damage? We probably have to. I'm at 7. Well, no, that's not true. If I draw land, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I draw land, we can Torgar. I didn't. Looting. Thoughtseize wound. I can wound the Phoenix. He has crypt though. So that won't work. 1, 2, 3, but it's not black. Thoughtseize is a dead card at this point. That's really disappointing, chat. Yeah, I can't get Hogak out because Neonate is red. Is there something I could do that gets him to pop the crypt, I guess, so we could wound the Phoenix? You're going to go back to Tron? I don't think there's a way I can get this off, right? This wound. I'd have to make him pop the crypt somehow. So I guess the only way we can do that is we're actually going to pitch the Torgar and keep this in hand for Delve. Which would dispel. A little late to the party. Yeah. That's game. Good games, opponent. So we walk away with half our entry. That's honestly, like, since, you know, the cat's been out of the bag about this deck. Like, the weekend that I got to play it before people were ready for it, the deck was pretty bonkers. Since then, it's been less and less, just more and more people gunning for it with their graveyard hate. We're probably better off doing something even like Tron, right? These Relic of Progenitus decks are great because they've got their graveyard hate already incorporated into their main board. I think it's a cool deck, though. It's not like I picked it for today. We just happen to have a league to finish from yesterday. These are all the free spells. These are all the ones, and then 2 drops. I like the blue splash though. I think it does a lot. I think that the sideboard is nice. Truth is another nice, efficient answer to Leyline, especially multiple Leyline or multiple pieces of hate of the same type. Right? Truth would have caused him to pop those Tormod's Crypts and maybe I mean, we didn't see Crypt until that last game against the guy, so I couldn't have known that was, and he had a bunch of them. So other decks I might be interested in showing you guys. Like we were working on an Eldamari's Call deck. Slot Machine is interesting, but let's see, it's only 924. Slot Machine was interesting. We could try a Slot Machine build that's more in on Ugin. I do like that Ugin is, albeit more expensive. I do like that Ugin is um, one piece instead of multiple pieces. Like the Karn and the Semblance, I understand, right? Semblance is here because it's just on the cheap. But like the problem is the imprint sometimes does really matter in a lot of the games we were playing with the deck. The deck also now has another cheap egg it can play. The snow one. Well, it has to be cast with snow mana though. What slot? This is Slot Machine. So it's an attempt to try to make a Karklan deck despite Karklan being gone. There's been a couple people that have gone deep with the deck. I don't think it should be Grove of the Burnwell since we have Ravager though, to be honest. But yeah, you play Nexus, you play Ravager, you play Grinding Station, so you can either mill them out, beat them down with like these guys, or you beat them with transferring the counters to a Nexus. It's a pretty cool little deck. I think that me trying to incorporate Karn into it was wrong, but I actually think Ugin might have been correct. Because like the card disadvantage on the Semblance Anvil, you really feel it sometimes. Let me download this, and if I was to try that deck again, it'd look a little bit more like this. I think it would be more like a big mana deck. I think it'd be more big mana, and I think we wouldn't feature Karn, we'd feature Ugin. Yeah, I think we'd go just a little bit bigger. Like we'd be playing what is that? 2-drop Mindstone. I think I might play Mindstone. And we talked about that. So instead of the Karn package, so I actually do think this deck needs its sideboard to be able to break out of like Stony and the like. Um, so we don't need this. We don't need that if we're not going to play Karn. Which I actually kind of like the idea of. Yeah, so instead of... Now, I'm not saying we're not going to run any Anvils. I'm just saying I kind of like that Ugin is one card. You put Emrakul in Urza Sword. Nice. But yeah, the nice thing about Ugin, yes, it's 2 more mana than Karklan. Yes, it's not a sacrifice engine in and of itself, right? You'd still need stations. In fact, yeah, now we have the playset of station main. We were already playing a sword just because Retriever returns it. It's another free artifact. This Retriever should be... So 4 Retrievers. You do like 4 in this deck because 2 Retrievers, they see each other. And they loop. It's a sideboard card. This might even be main. Trawlers. Okay, so something a little bit more like this. Maybe. I mean, we probably still have to play some number of Semblance, though, right? Because we can't tutor for Ugin off of the... oh, we weren't even playing. We were just playing Buried Ruin. Maybe this is sideboard. So, yeah, I mean, if there's room, you could play Anvil. I don't like it as much as potentially Ugin. We have to go bigger on our mana, though. And maybe you let the Ravager be a sideboard plan. The problem is the deck lacks what? The deck lacks sacrifice outlets. Right, so like Grinding Station is, without Karklan, arguably the best way to do it. The deck kind of wants another, let's see, when creature enters, like it just needs another sacrifice outlet. I think Blasting Station also technically works. Station works through Retriever. What's the win con? Ugin? No, you kill them. We do need to re-include a condition though, right? Because the cool thing about the Karn was Karn eventually ended up giving you the win. Yeah, so blasting station also gives you infinite with the retrievers. So maybe like a blasting station variant. We do need to include like an actual win condition. We need to put in like spell bomb. No, you just go classic. You just straight up play spell bombs. Yeah, you just use these like one, maybe two. But let me before we do that, let me see if there's like another slot I can slim and we can run some number of Mind Stone because I want to get up to Ugin. I mean, like we can't just rely on Opal to get us to Ugin, right? And lands and stirrings. Those are pretty consistent. Let's cut the sword. It's a little cute, especially if I'm not going to be playing Thopter Sword, which I don't think I am. This build would be Grove if we're not going to do Ravager. In fact, the mana base gets a little better. We don't have to play Nexus anymore. We could play, what will we play? We like red. We like green. I'm trying to think of other red-green sources that are kind of nice like Grove. Budget mono decks. Used to play Snap Delver. I saw a Delver deck put up some results, Yoda, which was surprising to me. I haven't seen it be very good in Modern in a long, long, long time. We wouldn't play this many blasting stations, though, I don't think. Even though the deck is very hungry for sacrifice outlets. Blasting Station just gives you what? It just gives you a mere retriever sacrifice outlet. It doesn't give you a sacrifice outlet for the rest of the deck, so it is weaker. So we're going to cut some number. Like what you really need is more tap, sacrifice, and artifact. And there aren't many besides Ravager, right, that are free. Right? There are not many in Modern, right? This guy has to tap to sacrifice. This guy taps to sacrifice. If you guys can think of other in Modern, if you guys can think of other like cheap tap, sacrifice an artifact, for Modern, like one that's repeatable. Besides, I just don't think there is one. There's a reason why people have switched into Ravager for this deck. There's not many creatures that you can just repeatedly sacrifice artifacts with. Grinding Station works because you're gonna keep playing artifacts and you have to keep untapping it. But Ravager, I'd like to get around my opponent's removal if possible. Yeah, I just don't think it exists. I don't think I could certainly be wrong. I mean, there's Gargadon. Gargadon gives me the ability to sacrifice a lot of artifacts off of one card. Is that a little bit weird? No. And then we could play like a Devil sideboard plan. That'd be kind of cool. I think Gargadon with Devil is actually really neat. The new Devil that came out relatively recently. I'm just trying to see if there's other cards that do that. There's not many. Yeah, I mean there's Gargadon and we could do Devil after board. I think that's cool. I saw a deck doing that was actually very, very robust. I'm not gonna say it was good, but it was a really cool list. It didn't look anything like Slot Machine, but I liked that deck had angles, had lots of angles. We could even do like Salvage Titan, by the way. Classic Salvage Titan. Salvage Titan says you may sacrifice 3 artifacts rather than pay the spell's mana cost. The problem with the Salvage Titan build of this deck is it would need to switch into lootings, but I've liked Salvage Titan in the past a lot. This card's very grindy. So let me kind of reconstruct. Let me kind of bring my thoughts together. Let's just cut another Blasting Station. Let me play some Salvage Titans. Let me play some lootings. Let me play one less Ugin. Honestly, we might just have to play the Semblance Anvils because we didn't really add the ramp that I said I was going to actually get up to Ugin. Unfortunately. So maybe we're better off with like Gargadons and Salvage Titans. Forge Master is legal. Doesn't quite do what we want though. Yeah, Gargadons are interesting. Right, Gargadons crack the stars, the Terrarians, they crack the Wellsprings for us. They sacrifice the Retriever when I don't have Grinding Station or Blasting Station. That's kind of neat. I think Blasting Station is a bit weak. Titans are interesting. There's 0 mana. We don't actually hardcast them ever. It's not hard for this deck to get them out. We're already playing a playset of Darksteel. We could... mana base would change a little bit if we're going to do this. We probably want to play... what's another land that like is a nice red-green source naturally without being like a pain land per se? I'll have to think on that. So yeah, if we switch out of the Ravager build, we could still play like Ballista, by the way. I kind of like the deck a little bit more already. This would be a Semblance Anvil build, though. What about Orcus Vandal? Didn't say the decks I use were currently good. I didn't know. Just saying what I used to use. I mean, Yoda, there's a vast variety. You came back in a really interesting time to Modern. There is a vast majority of cool decks. That's a weird thing to say. Not vast majority. There is a majority. Wow. Let me say it this way. There is a majority of new things that people are jamming at the moment. I wouldn't buy into a new deck at the moment, Yoda. If you are very tempted to play Modern at the moment, I would proxy something, play with friends, people that you trust to know know Modern. Vandal. Oh, it's Orcish Vandal? The problem with this guy is he's a tap and we don't have a way to untap him. So I need like a mass, like something that can sacrifice lots of artifacts. Like Titan does it. Titan is also something I can't hit it off of Stirrings actually because it's black. It's not colorless. But I can't hit Gargadon either. But the cool thing about Titan is we don't actually have to we actually don't need looting in the deck. Titan does what Titan does anyway. So that's an interesting idea. And then we'd play Devil. Is it Scourge Devil? Gargadon combos. I guess Salvage Titan technically does too, not Scourge Devil. It's the devil that anytime you sacrifice a permanent, you get to ping something. Yeah, Mayhem Devils. That could be a really fun sideboard plan. I don't know how we're going to get the black mana. We'll work on that. If we wanted to play green, red, and black cards, we'd probably, in addition to these Buried Ruins, and Darksteel, yeah, we'd probably have to play straight up Glimmervoid, maybe? I don't think Glimmervoid's too greedy in this deck. I mean, we'll sometimes get like 2 for 1 if we mulligan a bunch. That will happen, but we could play Void. Got a bunch more 1-drops now. What about Oxida Daredevil? Oxida? What? What about Piston Sledge? Oh, sacrifice an artifact. There you go. I still kind of like Gargadon better, or maybe even the Titan. Titan's a little awkward because I have to build up the 3 artifacts every time, though. Piston Sledge. We would play the playset of Gargadon before I play a playset of Salvage. Yeah, equip, sacrifice an artifact. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Because like what the deck really lacks, well, the problem is this is also conditional. This kind of has the same issue as Blasting Station does, is that I need a creature. But this gives me a sacrifice outlet, which is good. Yeah. We do need a creature in play, right? I need Trawler or I need Retriever in play to keep activating this. But now we're talking. Now we're talking, Soul King. What about Sly Requisitioner, Sword of the Meek? I mean, this deck was playing Sword of the Meek even without Thopter Sword. Oh yeah, Sly Requisitioner is just a cool card in general. Maybe a fun sideboard win condition. 'Cause that's always been my concern with this deck is that, um, yeah, it might be fun. These stack though, so I'd probably, if we're gonna try the Mayhem Devils at all, I'd probably want to play the playset. Yeah, Sledge is interesting. Sledge also we hit off Stirrings. It does have a similar issue as to what the Blasting Station has, which is it needs a creature first to actually do anything. But I mean, I guess we're cheating in like Salvage Titan 2 that can wear the Sledge. Then we can just start sacking everything, sacrificing all our other artifacts. But again, the problem is I'm not getting any value out of the sacrifice either. Like Blasting Station technically is still maybe better than this. This gives me the ability to crack these well springs though, which is really relevant. Like, cause sometimes you have a draw where you have something like Blasting Station, but you don't have a way to give up the well springs. So that's an issue. Um, Sledge untaps Grinding Station. I don't know. It's tough. Like people haven't really figured out how to make the deck work since losing Cart Clan. Vexing Devil. Probably have $150, $200 of value left in cards. You want to stick to that as your budget. I mean, I like to think you came to a cool place to like build something unique or different. If what you used to play though was Snapcaster, Affinity, Infect, I don't know if you came to the right place. I'm trying to think of decks that are in that vein. I mean, there's the new Affinity deck. If I were to play Infect, I would play the Black Splash version. That's just my preference. The greedy, like Sultai colored deck. If I were to play Affinity, it would be Hardened Scales Affinity. If I was to do something with Delver, it would probably be that Delver list I saw on MTG Goldfish the other day. That's weird looking. Look at this. Look at this Ballista. Look at that. That's cool looking. It turned itself into a promo somehow. All right. Ninjas is really fun though. Yeah, I mean, I've got these other lists that I'm thinking of just like sharing with you guys as well. But yeah, I think the slot machine is still kind of under the radar on my list. There's Snolltai to play still. There's the Eladamri's Emrakul still to play. We did play the Planebound Red Prison finally. There's like Waterfalls are just value, just all the new Cascade stuff, shenanigans. Snolltai is probably something I should play. Snolltai. I haven't figured out exactly what build of it I want to do. This one was maybe going to play Druid. I've always liked kind of like these black-green derivative decks playing a Mana Dork. I've seen, like if you think back, there was Noble Hierarch for Abzan sometimes people would do because you're only missing black off of Noble Hierarch. This one here would just be snow count for the Dead of Winters. Like this list, this was me trying to really leverage the potential strength of Dead of Winter. So like a heavy snow-covered mana base, right? 4 island, 2 swamp, 2 forest. Deltas and vistas. I think these Field of Ruin probably shouldn't be in here. But yeah, I mean, I just slapped this together. I don't expect it to be good, but I did think... and then some unearths for like Jaces and Snaps and Codals, Click. We're not really doing anything broken with Unearth though in this version, right? Whereas Pyromancer, the new Pyromancer is pretty strong with Unearth. Honestly, I think just play Ravager. It's a great sacrifice outlet in and of itself. Yeah, and that was kind of what we discovered with the Nexus build was that this 7 was already happy, right? Is what we discovered, and then we played Grove of the Burn Willows. And a bunch of basics, and I hate to say it, it's hard to maybe find another great engine for the deck besides like Ravager's just really efficient at what it does, semblance, and yeah, you're just trying to do the thing. Gives the deck some alternative angles, and then yeah, you play some basic forests, but I don't know. I mean, maybe we just hit a bunch of Stony Silences, which I think is what happened. Not that Stony Silence is all over the format at the moment. There's a reasonable amount, but it's not everywhere. So like, I mean, I'm biased, right? I'm biased to what I saw in that league, right? I didn't really want to play the deck again after what happened. Um, yeah. So maybe something like this. Just straight up play Semblance. I mean, there's room for one Ugin there, right? But the problem is, well, he's 6 mana. It's a lot of mana, right? But maybe this would have been better than messing around with Karn, though. It's just more stock. Just have all the pieces. Oh, I would imagine Soul King. I mean, like some of those decks I just showed you guys, probably not very competitive either. I do like the idea of this deck, though, the Snolltide deck. That's something I could see us really enjoying, or me really enjoying streaming for you guys. I'm trying to think if I have any lists recently that might tickle your fancy. Oh, the Saheeli-Mardu is something I was totally into building actually. Hold up. Yes. So I saw a really cool, and I'm totally plagiarizing here. Um, if I can find it, it was a Saheeli-Mardu. So like kind of like the classic. Uh, It's like the classic Pyromancer, except instead of playing any Pyromancers at all, it was just playing Saheeli's. The cool thing about Saheeli in this deck, the really neat thing about her is really first and foremost that even if they have like Pithing Needle or anything, you don't care. So it's rare that you have a Planeswalker that I mean, these new passive planeswalkers, like they're doing things despite something like Pithing Needle, and then other than that, it's just like a really grindy. I think there were some card choices that I thought were weird, right? Like the Runechanter's Pike. It's a little bit weird. Not that I'm trying to argue with this person's 5-0, Liliana of the Eves. I'm not trying to argue with that. I mean, that's old school tech, right? I mean, that's original Innistrad right there. We haven't seen this card very much since, right? Yeah, other than that, looks really stock. I would play this. I'd make a couple changes. Like, I don't think I'd play. I don't know if I'd play any pikes, actually. Do you think decks are going to sideboard Oath? Oh, absolutely, big loss. 4 Messenger, 4 Pyro. But I would play this in a heartbeat. This deck seems really robust. Probably has a reasonable matchup against, wow, 7 hand hate? Whew. Probably has a reasonable match. And the cool thing about Saheeli, much like Monastery Mentor, any non-creature spell triggers, so you can pair it with Bauble, right? So you play Bauble and fetches. Sure, like once you Blood Moon, that you can't like manipulate the top of your deck anymore. But this looks good to me. This looks like something I'd just jam. Let's mess around with this idea. I think this is kind of flown under the radar. Maybe nobody else has tried it since this person. I think we could maybe give it a go. Oh, what was it called? Should just be Mardu Saheeli. We don't always have to start from scratch, guys. I prefer to, like, I like to, but when somebody else comes up with something that's just super sweet and I'm just like, wow, I want to try that. Um, Played against 4-color Saheeli Cat combo. Oh yeah, Saheeli Cat is actually quite sweet at the moment. Would this deck play Black Force? Maybe. Is that a weird thing to think about? All right, so some of the changes I wanted to make. I mean, like the don't get me wrong, like this is kind of neat, right? I'm not trying to say that it's bad. I like the Helix technology. I like the Helix. If only the new Helix could actually have seen play, right? Just wasn't a thing. The Reveler doesn't benefit from these artifacts. That is a little slight bit of anti-synergy. I will say that much. I've seen some of these lists forego Reveler and just play new Pyromancer with the Reanimate, by the way. I've seen new Pyromancer played with some number of Entomb, by the way. Seasoned. Seasoned Pyromancer has more synergy for Bauble than, because he can just pitch these, than the other guy does. I think I might try that. And then some number of, I know like these aren't going to benefit from the reanimating, but if we play, I'm surprised we don't see, because we should probably see Campbell's. What are these needles even doing here? I guess they're a reasonable card. I like Kambal. Alright, I don't know if I play that many Pyromancers. Baubles. Does the deck have too many lands, actually? Pyromancer usually doesn't play 21, does it? I thought it played like 20. Let me do some research. Let's do a little bit of research here. I am not sure what Pyromancer's mana base looks like these days. And this deck's trying to get to 3 though, so maybe 21's right. I don't necessarily want to rebalance their mana base, but let's see what other people are doing. Pyromancer. 20 land. Okay. 20 land. 20 land. 20 land. 20 land. 20 land. 20 land. Was there split? Plains, swamp, swamp, mountain, mountain. Okay, that's normal. Well, what's the weird thing here? Double Foundry. It's not weird. Well, what's going on here? Is it 7th fetch? 8th fetch, I mean? 1, 2, 3, 8 fetches. What's the weird land out? It's just like slapping me in the face. 4 black cleave. Oh, only 1 blood crypt. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So that gives us room for 2 Entomb. Even when you don't have a Pyromancer ready to go. So, not Entomb, sorry. Oh, I wish, right? Is Rampage really taking the place of Command? Probably shouldn't. Let me see. Ooh, Nahiri in this guy's build. I'm into it. Oh, this guy wasn't on the tech, though. PZ Reveler, old school. Hold up. I like the Liliana's a little bit. This guy wasn't trying it either. Oh, these are older, though. That's the problem. These are from before Horizons. But yeah, I think the Unearthed technology is really cool. Which mono red do you think is better? Young Pyromancer and Burn Spells or Goblins? I mean, have you seen Mono Red Phoenix? That's an option. Ooh, this says Watermark. Yes. Or we could play Old School. It wouldn't match the rest of the borders of my cards except for the Myers. We could play like Old School Unearth. Not that I don't like the new art. Like I like Watermarks. I could be coaxed into this one. I think Old School Unearth is cool looking too. But anyway. I mean, maybe we should have a few more creatures to unearth other than... Like, the combo with Pyromancer is kind of strong, though. So, when we're on top deck mode, you top deck unearth. Because the way the guy the way that this card reads is discard 2, then draw 2, kind of similar to Reveler. There's synergy there. Um, and we're not as compelled to what? We don't actually have to adhere so much to the spell count anymore in these decks as much. Don't get me wrong, Reveler is still Reveler, but you don't necessarily have to build the deck to be Reveler anymore. Wow, this is so many threes. That worries me. Yeah, Burn plays Phoenix. How was Hollowvine tonight? We went 2-3. I made some maybe not so great sideboarding choices. I kept a couple hands that were probably a little bit dry on. I don't think I need like all these spheres of the moons. It seems like overkill to me. Don't get me wrong. There's like a decent amount of Tron. There's a reasonable amount of Tron. I don't know if I'm in love with this sideboard configuration. I mean, I get why, like, I understand why the deck isn't playing Stony Silence. It doesn't mean I necessarily like the fact that it's not playing Stony Silence. What does it turn off? It turns off Bauble. That's it. Who cares? What about Arcanist? Arcanist is cool. Arcanist is interesting. Yeah, it probably should still be Colligan's Command. I don't know if I need those. What about Kai's Guile? I do like Kai's Guile. I do like that card. It is, yeah. Like in this, oh, wrong Kaya card. It is heavy, right? The threes. A lot of the time, like your souls is flashback though. A reasonable amount of the time, you're gonna loot it and you're gonna attempt to make it a little bit more mana efficient. Unless you want to slim on some of the Pyromancer. I mean, if I start cutting Pyros, like let's say we cut down to just like 2 or 3 Pyromancer, I'm gonna cut it on Earth if we do that. Maybe that's correct though. And then I can run another 1-drop or a 2-drop. I'll put these in the threes though. Technically, as a 3. Why don't you play one less Saheeli? Call me crazy. I could even see the deck doing this. I could see the deck playing 3 Saheeli, 2 Pyros, 1 on Earth, and then we get 3 other reactive spells. For example, only 2 push is a little strange to me. These versions that are heavier on the white splash also make me feel like it should be on more helixes. That also could just be my bias to just play more of that card, beat everybody that's jamming. There's a lot of mono red Phoenix on Magic Online. It's a relatively cheap deck. A lot of people are jamming it. Are any of the new cycle lands in our colors? I don't think that's worth it necessarily when it comes to Pyromancer. Just something to think about. Why don't we just main deck some Surgical? We could. Or even like Spellbomb. I know it's awkward for like the Stonies I'm thinking about maybe playing. Like Bauble and Nile Spellbomb. I could get behind Nile Spellbomb. I don't know if I want to play actual Surgical per se. Like in these black like fair decks, I kind of like some number of spell bombs. Like 2, maybe even 3. Is that like crazy? It's a lot of spell bomb. It is a lot. I'm just fixing the mana base as we go. I think Spellbomb honestly is better. Maybe we play Snow Covered so they think that we're on the new Snow Tech, right? There is the Snow Sweeper, except none of our creatures are gonna survive that. There's no real synergy there. Saheeli's Mishra's Bauble seems sweet. Yes, it does. Yes, it does seem sweet. Yeah, I'd like to maybe run a couple more stuff that's low to the ground. Bomb is it's just heavy on hand hate, like heavier than you'll normally see, which I can appreciate. Maybe we play another removal spell. Maybe we play second Helix. Anything spicy you guys can? I mean, like, Pyromancer is usually pretty stock. Oh, there should be one more Sacred Foundry. We actually don't have another slot, do we? We don't actually have another card slot if we want to play. There's Guile. Yeah, I guess it looks like this if we're gonna play it this way. Yeah, but I could be into this. As much as I love the idea of unearthing season, I don't think we don't have to play it. That would be more so like play set of Pyromancer, maybe even 2 mana Pyromancer, and you play the unearths as well. We don't need it. We can cut it. I'm okay with that. Is there any like return Planeswalker? There is that new really grindy spell that we played, 2-drop in Jund. Oh my gosh, this spell was so grindy. It was like return creature, return Planeswalker. Oh yeah, you can, Yoda. I'm just not going to. Aid the Fallen. This card was so grindy. Oh my gosh. This card's so grindy. I love it. Yeah, choose one or both. Return target creature, return target planeswalker card. Such a grindy card. I did enjoy playing this when we did. I don't know if we still have enough creatures to justify it, right? There's only a couple in the main. There's only a couple in the sideboard. Still, this card's very grindy. Like when you certainly are built properly for it. Yeah, new Sorin like reanimate stuff. Cool thing to think about. I actually like new Sorin quite a bit. The lifelink's really relevant and modern. Um, the -X returning Pyromancer seems like it could be sweet. Seems like a crime not to play some number of Bedlams. We could. We could. Just Bedlam doesn't play all that great with all of these artifacts we're playing. That was kind of why I thought about maybe moving away from the card. That's all. I mean, sure the majority spells, but like these aren't. These aren't like if you want to analyze this list as far as like Bedlam Reveler synergy, it's certainly gone down. Um, so things that do synergize, things that don't. Like I don't think you. I'm not again. I think you're maybe not wrong, but like 24 cards that are happy with Reveler, but 36 that don't. Play Pyro. You need more cards. Oh, another Season Pyro. I think I'd rather just build around Season Pyro than hope that like our artifact splash doesn't screw us over this card. C's almost the same amount of cards. Sure, Reveler was the bee's knees in the past, but like maybe its time has moved on. Maybe. Yeah, Pyromancer maybe is where we just want to be. And maybe we don't bother with Unearth. Right? With only Pyromancer being the target, maybe we don't bother. How about this? No cuteness. I was gonna run that like really grindy spell, like the one that returns a planeswalker and creature, but what do I have? 4 creatures and I have 4 planeswalkers. That's probably not enough. And then post board, there's 2 more creatures, maybe. I just like that card. I'm not saying we play it. We probably need quite a few more creatures. Like we'd have to play like Fulminator, like Liliana, maybe Fulminator. Kind of curious what that deck would look like though. Just because that's really grindy. I've messed around with that spell before. And then we can maybe put some of these cards that, quite frankly, make me think they're a sideboard card in the board. And then we cut like maybe the needles we don't need. There's definitely some stuff in the board. I'm like, I don't really need it. I like this card a lot. Could we like construct the deck in such a way that it gets to play 1, maybe even 2 of this card? This feels like a sideboard card to me. I don't mind like maybe either Helix or Rampage in the main. I mean, if anything, it should probably still be Culligan's Command, by the way. Aid. Yeah, K Command is indeed very strong. 4 and 4, we would want 1 more of either the other, right? Either creature or planeswalker. Could be Liliana. I don't hate Liliana in Pyromancer. And then we can play other Lily in the board if we make room for her. Yeah, I'm thinking lilies. That's what I'm thinking, considering. Well, surely we need like a little bit more artifact removal. Well, we got Stony. I know Stony's awkward with the bauble. That's probably why they weren't playing them. It's just hard to not consider this card when we're in white. Maybe like Slim a Leyline. Honestly, do we need this much Leyline? I feel like we're giving up so much of my sideboard when we could just, instead of playing a ton of Leyline, we could play like Trap. We could play Surgical. Like we give up so much of our sideboard for Leyline. We've already got a couple of bombs. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like the London Mulligan rule's not here yet. It's not here. Not yet. So maybe you play. I don't mind Surgical. I like Surgical in these hand hate heavy decks. You can get some value out of it. Maybe Surgical's what we do. Maybe. There's Ravenous Trap to think about as well. What about something like this? I mean, we'll double spell a lot of the time. Like Pyromancer, just because it's a lot of 1-drops. Like you'll double spell turn 2 a lot of the time. Like it's not unreasonable that that's what's happening during our turn 2. Some amount of the 1-mana spells are still happening. So we shouldn't look at the curve and just gasp and be like, oh my god, it's so bad. Like yeah, that's a lot of 3s. It's a lot of 3s. Okay, it's a ton of 3s, right? When you start to think about like flashback looting play as well, but like bomb's kind of like a 2-mana play. To be honest with you, I'm gonna move those over. Move these over. Like I mean, these are feasibly 2-mana plays a lot of the time. I mean, not a lot of the time, a reasonable amount of the time. This is 2 mana. Ley lines you only hate that really beats Hogak. They always seem to have the Nature's Claim, man. Or if they're on the um, what is it? Um, they might also just be on Wismere. That's what I've found. I've played as the Hogak deck a lot. I don't really care about Leyline. You have to respect it, but like you just board in, 5 or 6 answers to it, and you're fine. Like how is 4 Leyline supposed to beat on average 5, 6 cards? It does sometimes. Like sometimes you get lucky, but it's like you're so if you're the Leyline deck, you're having a harder time. Like you're trying to find it in your openers, right? It's the only one that's worked for you. I mean, that's fair, vegan. Have you considered Ravenous Trap though? Well, you can play Ravenous Trap too. The nice thing about Trap versus Bomb or even Surgical, the nice thing about Trap is a lot of these versions aren't even bothering with Thoughtseize. I mean, some do for like when they're playing against combo, but like when they play against like mid range like us, this just sits safely in our hand, and as long as as long as we, I should say, are skilled enough to know when to pop this, it's perfect. And maybe we could do that instead. Play like 2, maybe even 3 of this. If we really think the Hogak's happening, I mean that's a lot. That's a huge hedge. These are useful, obviously, against Dredge too. Storm, like you use them in other matchups, but like a lot of the time, this is just perfectly reasonable. And it's relatively cheap. A lot of people are playing it. Maybe we cut an anger. These needles seem weird to me. I'm sure there's a reason they were playing double needle. I'm sure of it. I'm gonna cut one. I'm sure of it. I just don't see it. All right, let's get the cards for this, and let's maybe start a fresh league with it. It's 10. We're only gonna go to about 11 tonight. So thank you for staying for the brewing portion of the stream. I do like to brew a little bit live with you guys at least once. I mean, granted we're borrowing somebody else's technology, right? I mean, I've kind of brewified it, right? Added some stuff that I like. Kind of maybe ruin the mana base. I don't know. We'll find out. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just cutting what I already have, and then everything that we still need to get, we will order. Most of the mana base already. That's good. Blood Moons already. Vast majority of the sideboard, it looks like. Okay. So then you just click over here to export, and I can drop it directly into Card Hoarder, for example. Card Hoarder being our lovely, lovely sponsor. They are wonderful. I think we can actually just order this deck. The Lilianas might have put it over. We've got 247 some change tickets. Let's clear this out. You guys know I'm very, very thankful to Card Hoarder for them sponsoring this stream. It makes some of our weird, wow, bleh, can't talk tonight, weird and wild ideas possible. So thank you for that, Card Hoarder. If you guys are thinking about looking at playing on Moto, it's a renting service. I mean, I would recommend at least looking into Card Hoarder or one of the equivalent card renting services before just buying cards. Because like for me, like I'm never really happy with my 75 ever. Doesn't matter what deck it is. So I like to be able to swap in and swap out of decks and cards. Hey, what's up, Ike? Oh yeah, for sure. And I think this will be fun. I don't know if the deck's gonna be good. I think it'll be fun. I like playing Fair Magic a fair amount of the time. Thank you very much, chat. I do. I do play a reasonable amount of Fair Magic. We play fair sometimes. Oh yeah, Ike, you wanna link it? You wanna link a picture to it? I know you're always working on those cars, man. Working on those cars. Cards should be here any second. We have cards from a lot of different sets. That's usually why it might take a little bit of time for them to get the cards our way, but it shouldn't be long. Should not be all that much longer. Actually, the way I had it was white, then black, then red. Okay. So, beautiful, beautiful deck. I mean, 4-color, right? Saheeli's red. She's red. She's a red card, right? Sometimes she's a blue card. Sometimes she's both. Yeah, these hybrid planeswalkers are sweet. I'm surprised we haven't seen like Saheeli, like Legacy Saheeli. I'm sure somebody's already been building it, right? There's got to be like a Legacy Saheeli deck doing things, right? Double headphones. Yeah, there's got to be Legacy Saheeli doing things, right? Haven't taken any pics. Do you want to get me into a new car, Ike? Because my current car is kind of falling apart. Yeah. I was looking at her today. It was the saddest thing. So, you know how like some cars kind of have like cheap hubcap covers, like the little plastic? I'm just saying that because maybe some of you guys in the chat, other than I, aren't necessarily sure what part of the car I'm talking about. So not like the rims. Like the rims didn't fall off my car. But like the little plastic covering on the rim. Well, first of all, some cars, that's not plastic. This is just like a fancy, strong plastic. It wasn't anything. But so I get home today after work and I notice that that's gone on one of my wheels. And that's sad. I mean, that's an easy replacement. It doesn't. I mean, like that's not the reason I'm saying I need a new car. That's not. That's that's a first world problem or thing to say, right? Oh, like my wheels are falling apart. I need a new car. No, no. But just the car. It was used. I've had it for a while. I've been thinking maybe it's time for a new car. Anyway, Mardu Saheeli. Let's update the info. Thank you guys for sticking around. I know sometimes it takes a bit of time to switch between decks when we're live on stream. I'll go ahead and cue us while I do this. I appreciate your patience, guys. I know it can't be easy. I know it can't be easy. Wow, there's a guy streaming virtual reality on Twitch. That's pretty freaking sick. He's playing Beat Saber. It's the future, man. It's the future. Future is now. We're here. All right, so this is totally like my kind of fair deck to play for sure. What he said. Totally the kind of deck I like to play. Let's go ahead and edit that. This is. Whoop, let me just spill my drink everywhere. Now we got lucky. Modern Mardu Saheeli-mancer. Perfect timing. We got a match. Perfect timing, chat. I did put the grindy card in because it makes me happy. We have to put like one card in these lists that make me happy, right? If we're going to play Fair Magic, we got to put something cool in there. It's a very grindy card potentially, right? Requires a little bit of setup, right? There, we need like, let's see, game one, we want to see Seasoned Pyromancer, and we want to see one of our walkers. There are 5 walkers, right? Kaya, Lily, Saheeli. So we got the girls, and then we got these Seasoned Pyros. We're gonna go ahead and mulligan this, unless I accidentally kept it. I don't even remember clicking yes. Oh, I guess Moto thought that I did. I don't even remember clicking yes on this. We could totally even beat something like In Fact if we had kept a land with hands. A hand with lands, excuse me. Isn't that sad, chat? Isn't that sad? I should pitch souls there maybe, but this gives less information maybe. I don't even remember clicking yes. Maybe it's because I was moving windows and closing things in the background. I just kind of was on autopilot. I think I was going over here to show you, like, to talk about the Aid the Fallen briefly. I don't remember clicking yes, though. Oh well. One throwaway. I mean, you guys know me, my demeanor. I don't tend to get salty, so just moto things. Things I probably wouldn't accidentally do in paper, but sometimes happen on Magic Online. Needle answers Inkmoth Nexi, plural. Wear Tear hits Nexus. It's not all that great in the matchup. Liliana Last Hope can come in. They don't really care about Blood Moon. They sometimes do. I mean, he saw Blood Moon, so we might as well side him out. Guile is fine. It's an Edict. Doesn't target. That's good. Kaya is probably worse than Lily of the Veil. And then we're going to start to cut some of our grind. All right, so maybe some of the Pyros. I like Souls. So maybe this is what we board to. Let's cut the bombs. What do we play instead? I mean, some of this has to come back in, chat. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Kaya does exile Noble. Kaya exiles Glistener Elf. This hits Nexus. This hits sideboard cards. This hits Rancor. I mean, maybe we want this. Huh. Brutality maybe gets played. He's going to board in a Spellskite maybe. I mean, Rampage is good in this matchup too, though. Like, it's just another Edict. I could play this to hit some sideboard cards. I'm going to play the Brutalities. It's not great, but we just need to interact a little bit. Obviously, we didn't interact at all last game because of my folly. I mean, Anger's not great in the matchup, but maybe it's better than these four I've cut. I'm not all that excited about Pyromancer. I think we're just going to play the Kaya. The Angers. Just let us interact. Just let us interact. Just do a little interacting, shall we? I mean, watch us like win these next two, right? Just because Justice, right? Accidentally throw away. So this is going to be... I don't think this list has a Godless Shrine, does it? No, it does not. Greedy. I understand it, right? Because of all the red, but greedy. This is unfortunate. We don't really need white mana anytime soon, though. I mean, I'll probably still get Blood Crypt, just because it's Infect. We don't care about our life total. Yeah, no Godless Shrine. Anyway, let's take a peek. This is where in paper, obviously, I'd write their hand down. All right, so scale up, Vines, Glistener. We have two removal spells lined up. I'm going to take a Glistener. It's got the Grove in there. Nice. New Horizon Land. I respect that he didn't deploy Glistener Elf right there. I do. I probably just Brutality here. And take the Vines of Asteroid, because it looks like he's trying to play Glistener out with Vines to back it up. We're not going to give him that option. Hand is scale up Grove, some amount of unknown, Boltja. Looting, great combo for Lingering Souls. It's a combo, guys. Combo. That's a synergy. Ooh, Blighted. 2 cards in hand. Blighted. All right, so okay, nice. We drew land. So I can it's a little bit mana inefficient to do, but I'm kind of tempted to just kill this. Muta? Oh, that's sad. Okay. We know the last cards scale up. It's dead. We killed it. It's dead. Alright. And then we should be able to win off these souls. Oh, scale up is indeed a scary card. It is a cool card. Dissenter's Deliverance. I'm into it. I mean, I could just take the Thoughtseize. Can't cast Guile. That is something we do need white for. I could just take it. Could just take it. I mean, the reason to keep Thoughtseize is because of Faithless Looting. It's a sorcery. I don't really care. Yeah, I feel like we are in good shape, but could use white source. I'd like to hold the Thoughtseize to looting. Oh, okay, well now we just have Kaya's Guile, right? Don't I just sit on this for a turn? This card's insane in the matchup. At least in this, like a spot like this. I'm probably better off being proactive though. Okay, let's Faithless Looting. I mean, it's clear that he hasn't found threat. We can bolt off of a Sacred. Yeah, these are literally the things we need, right? You know, cycle the Grove. It's cool seeing these cards, man. Seriously. This adds a lot to the format. Alright, well, I probably bolt that just so he can't Guile. Or he can't, he won't have another threat to sacrifice to Guile. Push comes to shove. Toast it. Kablam. He's going to protect it. Okay. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, baby. Opponent brought in maybe Deliverance thinking that we were like a Moon Prison deck, by the way. I don't fault them for that. I think our sideboard was reasonable. I don't really see anything I want. They do have the Delve spell that's scary, but like I don't think that spell bomb's worth it. Fighting over their Delve pump spells. Alright, so now we get smashed. Come on, give me a... This is not the hand to do it. This is not a keep. What does this hand do? He goes 1-drop, I go looting. He goes kill me, I go... Okay, that's the match. I guess I could get this Lingering Souls out, but like this hand would have to find... Like we really want to go turn 1 hand hate. This hand just does not do that. This is a little bit better. See ya. It's awkward that we have the 1 of planes. This is a 1 of, right? Yeah. Greedy. Yep. Removal spell? Yeah, removal spell, sort of. Actually, this is pretty good in the matchup. It's an Edict. Let's go Crypt. Take scary cards. Oh, okay. I'd probably just take the defense, actually. He does have Nexus, but we can K-command that. His hand has a chance. Okay, so there's another forest over there. His hand is Forest, Catacombs, Strike, 1 unknown. Or did he play the forest? No. This is not the... There is a forest in his hand. Okay, so we could Thoughtseize the Distortion Strike. That seems useless. I think I just want to Rampage. Like... Yeah, we just want to kill something every turn. No real reason not to just get either Swamp or Foundry here. Benefit of getting... So the problem if I don't get Foundry is I can't cast Saheeli, so I'm going to get the Foundry. He might trade the Nexus for the Glistener Elf. Doesn't seem to be what they want to do. These days they're just playing Scale Up instead of Become Immense. Oh, okay. I buy that. I'm not in love with sitting on K Command, although we know his hand is pretty ripe for the pickings. I'm not gonna slam Saheeli and just lose. I'll try to K Command the Nexus. Maybe we don't do it during combat though. I actually am gonna K Command. I'm gonna. Maybe this is wrong, but I think I like discard kill. Oh, you said Catacombs, so we know the last card's Distortion. We could take it. I'm just gonna deploy Saheeli. It's too bad these don't fly. We might lose to these next eye. Certainly could lose. I mean, maybe Blood Moon's not all that bad in this matchup. It does hit multiple Nexuses when you play it. Land. Yeah, I think we're just dead. That's unfortunate. Probably take the strike, of course. He can't cast it yet, though. Maybe that was the wrong take. I think we're just going to die to these Nexuses, chat. Oh, he did draw Blue Source. Yeah, Moon is strong in the matchup. Remember, though, like, we did kind of have, like, a Moto fail moment. Or we could call it a BrewSpy fail moment, whatever you want to call that. Like, I didn't get to play game one, really. Right? We just kind of clicked and kept a hand I shouldn't. Alright, so we can take the Distortion Strike. It's not necessarily over anymore. Sorry, he played the Distortion Strike, didn't he? Oh no, he discarded it. What? Okay. Oh yeah, we took it. Alright, so we jam 2. Get to bolt 1 of the next eye. Pretty much any pump spell wins the game for him here. Souls also would have gotten you back in. Yeah, I mean, like, we have some top decks. So, like, I'm not scooping per se. Okay, Grove. Redraw. Proceed to kill us. Okay, cool. He's just going for the double Nexus attack. So we do have to draw a game-winning spell here. Or game-not-losing spell here. So I'm going to go to 9 Infect. If he had Mutagenic there, we died. Bauble. It's not over yet. And here's why. We get 2 looks with the Bauble because of how Saheeli works. I'm doing this wrong. Target you control becomes a copy. So target the thing I want to copy, making it into a Bauble. What's your next draw? Wooded? What's our next draw? Anger of the Gods. That's not going to cut it. Attack. We have 2 draws. One of them needs to interact with the Nexus. This doesn't. We lose. But, food for thought. Food for thought. Game 1 we didn't really get to play. I think that this is a reasonable matchup for Mardu. Yeah, we got 2 extra draw steps. Unfortunately, some of how we would interact. Well, like, Anger would never have interacted with Nexus. These actually should have just been the Blood Moons. Wow. Okay, we weren't gonna see something for none of this answered Nexus. I should have just had the Blood Moons in. That was a foolish mistake. It's 10:34. I got at least one more game in me, guys. Yeah, that was indeed foolish. How do you guys ever let me sideboard, right? How do you ever have faith in me to let me sideboard? No, I'm kidding. It's fine. I think that was maybe the only mistake we did with the sideboarding, right? Anger's just so much mana. I think it's just. I mean, again, maybe Anger was still better than some of our threats, but I don't think our problem was threats. I think our problem was interactivity. Yeah, Blood Moon's totally fine. If that was Blood Moon, you still wouldn't have gotten out. Why do you say that? Oh, because of the. All right, let's jam. Let's win this one. We can do it. We can do it. I think that last match was ours. We only got to play games 2 and 3, chat, in fairness. All right, we're going to mulligan this. As literally like all of our white cards in one hand. Keep, fetch, bobble, wombo. Wombo combo. We'll do it during my, okay, I'll take an Inquisition. Maybe I should still play out the bobble even though I want to wait for the fetch. And what am I grabbing? Basic white? Probably basic swamp. Hogak. How did I know? I knew because I knew, chat. Because I knew. Because I knew. Maybe we get to take the altar here. I'm actually going to grab perfect information so I'm going to know what's coming up next for us. So we know we have a Mire coming up. That's not exciting. We're going to fetch that away. Second Stitcher Supplier. That's a pretty easy take. You could also just take the Carrion Feeder. Both of which are good for the opponent here. Let him see a lot of cards. In the long run, it's probably still correct to take Feeder over Stitcher Supplier there. Alright, but yeah, before the trigger, I'm going to crack this. I mean, Blood Moon does cut him on black. Something to think about here. I know I've got Lingering Souls in my hand. Maybe there's a small chance I'm going to go with the Plains instead of the Swampy. Let's see. Black, 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 black. So much black. But my hand is Lingering Souls. I think I'm going to go with Souls. I think I'm going to go with Plains. Lily. It's not like we could have her and the Blood Moon too. Well, it's only if he hits Hogak is it fun magic incoming. Well, we're dead. How come I never get these draws when I play this deck, right? We were just playing a league of Hogak. Very glad that we have a bunch of bombs and Ravenous Traps. How come this draw doesn't happen for us? I'm a little jealous. A little bit, just a little bit. Alright, so Blood Moon doesn't really let him do anything else, but the problem is Hogak. Problem is Hogak. We'll have to find an answer. I don't know if we have efficient enough answers. Nah, we've lost this. It's okay. There's 2 more games to be played. The matchup gets a little bit more doable after board for us. which I'm sure a lot of decks say about the deck, right? A lot, I'm sure, plenty of configuration. I mean, like except Tron because they play Relics main. I mean, we have some spell bombs in the main board. That doesn't do enough. Yeah. All right. We'll beat it post board. We got plenty to bring in. Yeah, so Needle is actually the nicer way to deal with the combo. That's grindy. We don't need it. I'm actually just going to build this in the reverse. I'm going to cut that. We're gonna go backwards, chat. I'd rather use Pithy Needle than like Stony to fight over the combo piece. Frabius Raisins. Alright, so we got some Ravenouses. These are zeros as well. And I'll make a zeros pile. We got traps, we got baubles, we got spell bombs, we got needle. She don't mind Cannonball, that's interesting. Definitely Angers, that's easy. Maybe even Lily. You'd be surprised. She's not bad on their board. Kaya gets played, she exiles. Kaya's Guile gets played, that also exiles. Okay, what else do we want? Play the moons. What else do we want, chat? They might leyline us, as funny as that sounds. Probably not, though, since we're playing mid-range. Probably not. I wouldn't necessarily put them on that. We have to bring in 9 cards. All right, give me Last Hope Lily. Give me Soul's Pyro? Maybe. I mean, do we want to be able to hit? This also hits. Doesn't just hit Alter. This also hits Leyline at the same time. What's up, Jade? Jerky? What kind of jerky? That sounds interesting. I'm gonna play Seasons. I feel like I should be continuing to play this card because like it draws us to our hate. Like it draws us to Ravenous. It draws us to Spellbomb. I feel like I shouldn't just be so quick to cut these. Peppered beef jerky. Stony Silence? I don't think so. I don't think we do. Maybe it's better than some of these other options, though. As funny as that sounds. I just hate the idea of, like, turning off a bunch of our own cards just to turn off the altar. Potentially. I'd almost rather just, like, play K-Command. Not Rampage. For obvious reasons. Maybe the Campbells are fine. Sometimes they spin their wheels and no. They're not actually heavy enough. Maybe I will play pushes for feeder. No, I don't think we want Stony for this matchup. I don't think so. Trap and a looting? Keep it. Keep it. If there was no looting here and this was like 6 lands, I'd chip it. But it's a trap. It's a trap. And we have to time it right, and we need to play in such a way that the opponent doesn't think we have it, right? How's the deck been today? You missed it. We finished up Hogak Bridgevine, and then we started brewing, and we're thinking about Slot Machine, and now we're playing a Saheeli-mancer list. And loving it. I am enjoying this list, even if we don't do anything better than like get half of our. I'm hoping we at least get half of our submission back, since they changed or they hybridized the prize structure of the leagues and they did away with friendly and competitive. Right, there's just one now. I've really been liking the fact that most every stream we're able to cobble together. I'm actually going to prioritize these fetches over and this basic over these 2 lands. Just because we've still got the moons in. I'm going to prioritize these fetches. So on the Wismare plan, thought I was going to leyline them. And I know, guys, I know, right? Disrespect. So yeah, we just have to time this right. And it's not always correct to just pop it off when they get the first little bit of graveyard like advantage going. Like, for example, if there's no Hogak, the Anger will clean up really nicely here. for example. There's a blood gas. There's a bridge trigger. This might be where I trap though, because he's gonna get priority and he could put in a Hogak. I technically should have done it though before he made the zombie. If you want to get super technical. Oh, there hasn't been 3 creatures yet? No, there hasn't. Never mind. So I totally just gave away that I either have surgical or ravenous. Just because of how Moto works, it'll probably, in the text box, it'll say usernames trying to pay for something. Unfortunate. I thought that he did have 3 things dumped. Didn't he? No, I guess he didn't supply her this turn. He just neonated. Ditched. Blood gassed. No, we're safe. He's not Hogecking this turn. Like he needs 2 untapped black creatures. I think we're okay. I mean, that's what's really scary about the deck. Quite frankly, why I enjoyed jamming it, past couple weeks is because it is a pretty robust deck. I don't know what I need here. That'll depend on. Okay, so we drew Thoughtseize. Is it tempting to just clean up his board or play Pyromancer? Yeah. I'll take a peek. Shenanigans. I don't really care. Looting is probably the best card to take here. And Neonate, there's a honestly with Bridge in the Yard, there's an argument for Neonate too. Looting triggers Ravenous Trap. That's 3 cards in the yard. He probably just puts Bloodguess into play next, though. Oh, he's drew on another Neonate. Seems as though he's maybe perhaps cut his Vengevines, which is pretty normal. That they'll trim on Vengevine post board. If he brings out Bloodgas, it's probably time to just sweep. I mean, I'd like to get rid of the bridge with Trap. I would. Just don't want to pop it too soon, chat. Don't want to pop it too soon. See, I still can't trap. Why are you fetching there if you're not Hogacking? I don't understand. Huh. Not sure why he fetched there. I'm going to nuke the yard. And then we're going to anger. We're going to get, thinking basic, Black's not actually that prevalent in my deck, other than the 2 lilies. There's only 1 main deck lily. When we fetch, I can show you. Didn't want to do it post looting. No, because I don't get priority Kamikaze if he did hit Hogak. It has to do with how Hogak. Actually, I'm really glad that I played as the deck for as long as we did, just because I understand now, the weird because I've played the game enough from my opponent's perspective. I know when it looks like they're going for the delve, and that may not be his hand. May not be a Hogak here. It's very possible it's not. Just because it looked like he was making moves like just a weird arbitrary fetch, just because it looked like he was going for a Hogak doesn't mean he did. But it's very possible. Well, we know his hand. We don't know. He looted, so we don't anymore. He drew a card off Neonate, and he... or did he just Neonate? I guess he hasn't looted yet, did he? Shenanigans is in the yard, too. This got used. All I know about is there's a looting over there. I'm not trying to disagree with you, though, friend. Hope you see that. Just... maybe it was a reaction, an overreaction. I just had this feeling that there was a Hogak drawn over there. Oh, we just draw another Ravenous Trap? Okay. Talking it through is good. He's going to try to rebuild with this looting. In the meantime, we need to establish stuff. There's the Hogak. That may not have been what was in his hand. I'm okay with this because it's also getting the Hogak. Otherwise, just to get a Bloodghast is terribly aggressive. But we got the second half of the looting. We got the Bloodghast. We got the Hogak. We got the whole 9 yards. That was good. Yeah, that trap you probably liked more than the last one, Kami. But that one was more obvious. In fairness, it's probably going to be a black spell that we get off this guy. That was a bit. That was more obvious, okay? In fairness. This guy's sweet. This card is sweet. Like, think about it. No offense, if this was Young Pyromancer right here, I mean, sure, okay, we paid an extra mana for it, but like, look at this. Like, I'm drawing cards. I'm still making a dude. I mean, an elemental. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. First one was playing around Delve. That was the only difference we had. You know better than me. I don't know about that, Kami. I've just played as the deck a lot, so I know kind of like when they're going for stuff. I just felt it, you know. Felt it in my bones. Alright, despite the name, it's a better version of the standard dude with spectacle rather than Young Peasy. Oh, Reveler, yeah. Yeah, it's more like a Rix Mahdi Reveler. I could see that. Yeah, they're very different cards. We really shouldn't try to compare the two. They have very different roles. Right? No Great Fate. Has Inquisition. Has some moons. Probably loses. Double Bomb. Keep. Needs black mana. Needs second mana. I mean, I can bomb even if there's no black mana. It just sucks. It just hurts. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, we can use these as overcosted. We can use them as holy Vengevine Batman. Yeah, we can use them as overcosted Tormod's Crypts if we have to. We won't always get the value off of the spell bombs, guys. Sometimes it's desperation mode. We're on the draw. Can't let him get back both of those Vengevines. Not happening. Why fetch first? Not that I think it's Hogak, but maybe it's Hogak. I mean, the Vengevine triggers, bleh. Vengevine triggers will interrupt it. Yeah, because I get priority here. So that'll stop Hogak. That'll stop triple freaking Vengevine draw. My goodness. Oh, boy. Land. Nope. Well, might just die to this 1-1 and this 2-1. Rest in peace, too slow? Yes, it would have. Okay, that wasn't that juicy. Opponent needs a sacrifice outlet for these suppliers. Sometimes that's what happens in the deck is you don't find Sacrifice outlet. I'd like to get Kaya going. Land. Looting. Alright, let's keep one Blood Moon. Let's dump. Maybe I just dump both Blood Moons. Honestly, at this point, Inquisition's pretty dead as well. I mean, I might see a sideboard card. I'm probably better off just holding up black mana for this Spell Bomb, and maybe even push is reasonable. I don't think Inquisition is really where it's at anymore. Honestly, the hand hate can be pretty weak in this matchup, but like some of my other cards just aren't much better. Maybe Soul, like maybe the token generators would have been better than some of like overloading on the hand hate. That's true. Chewer wants to go after my bomb. Okay. Well, that's kind of sad. I guess we'll cycle it. Oh, he evoked first, so we get to exile the Chewer. Then we will... Not that that's, like, huge. Just, we get one more card out of his graveyard. Trap. Hello. Hello. Need to not die to the mediocre beats, though. I'm working on it, chat. Working on it. We're working on that. Crap, if this is Hogak, he can cast it. Okay, thank goodness. Might even just want a Ravenous Trap. Because next turn, if I try to Fatal Push the Gravecrawler, it triggers the bridge. Let's not get greedy. Let's get rid of that bridge. That way I can just start killing his dudes and I don't care as much. Well, that's not true because these will mill over 1 billion. Like, Kaya's interesting to think about. Blood Moon's interesting to think about. If I Blood Moon, I can't Kaya. If I Pyromancer, I can dump these two. Kind of start to match his board a little bit. I shouldn't have fired off the Ravenous Trap. I should have been a little bit more, because like I'm just now realizing this is going to be a lot of cards. Like we do have to start blocking and killing these suppliers, and opponent is going to get to look at a lot of cards. It was easy street last game because we also had Anger of the Gods. I mean, Blood Moon cuts him from recasting the Gravecrawler. Yeah. I think I'm just deploying Pyromancer off of the basic. Draw some cards. Reminder, Kaya downtick would be less cards. Yes, no, I'm aware she's good. She's probably what I keep over these. Hey, another Ravenous Trap. We did not deserve that. I did not deserve that. We probably Needle Carrion Feeder. I don't think he's playing the altar anymore. Pyro blocks nicely. There's a Hogak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Am I going to get priority to actually trap that away? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna get Hogak'd here. I can't cast the Ravenous Trap. Yep, can't cast it. Yep, opponent doesn't have to pass priority. We do not get to trap. They immediately cast it. Yep. I mean, this is why sometimes you'll have opponents that they sit there and they lose with the Ravenous. Now, if I had Surgical, that's a different story. Actually, if I had Surgical, I couldn't do it either. Now I get priority for the Ravenous Trap, but now it's too late. And that's Hogak for you, chat. We need like Path here. I don't have them in this list. Anger, but too late. Oh, are you kidding me, deck? Anger, but too late. Yeah. Anger, but too late. I mean, the deck just like naturally plays around stuff like Ravenous, to be honest with you, chat. Just because of just sequencing. Yeah, I mean, if I anger, I just die to this Hogak. Is there a top deck that saves me from the silly card? No, I'm not playing like Celestial Purge or anything like that. I'm fine with it. It sucks. Maybe my opener was bad, like we were kind of spinning our wheels a little bit there. No, it happens. Yes, that's the benefit of Leyline, but like opponent was playing mares, opponent was playing chewers, so we also lost a spell bomb to a chewer at some point, right? And maybe there was a another piece of graveyard hate that I fired off a little bit too aggressively. That's disappointing, chat. Disappointing. Just barely got this Hogak out there and it won. Why can't I have these draws when I play the deck? Seriously, isn't that funny? Opponent's not gonna get greedy. You just smash face. Like you don't get greedy. Yeah, he's just gonna mash face. Why would you get greedy? Why would you get greedy? Lily would work. She's not in. Rampage isn't in. Lily's not in. No, it's a fantastic deck. I play it myself. We just played it tonight. I mean, we did have a 3-2 with the deck. I can't get upset just because my opponent got a better draw with the deck than I seem to have been getting. It's 11, so we're actually going to table this. I'm going to come back next stream. We're going to finish this. I actually do really like this deck. I mean, you can have all the hate in the world, and it sometimes doesn't matter, right? Just due to, well, due to mechanics like Delve and Convoke. But we were just playing the bad guy deck, so we deserve it, right? We were just playing. My take on the deck's a little bit different, if you want to see it though. But yeah, I think it's a fine deck. Gosh, if that guy was on Torgar, we would have also lost. Just big creature. I actually really like just the deck in general because like you can even have the hate, and if they get good draws like that, it doesn't matter, right? Because like you're fighting a bunch of little weenies, but then you're also at the same time fighting 4/3s and 8/8s, or in our case 7/6s. So like it's hard to like, and then you need to hate their graveyard, but you also need to kill the creatures. The deck draws through itself relatively efficiently, right? You got neonates and lootings. I was trying a little bit of tech. We were trying some crabs and noxious. Deck kind of curves like this if we look at it from that perspective. So these are our zeros, these are our ones and twos. No, the deck's a lot of fun to play too. I hate to admit. So it's like it's degenerate and it's fun to play. It's a bad combination for modern. A lot of people will probably be picking this up pretty soon. We will see. We will see indeed. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming. I'm going to host over to another stream just because I got my start on Twitch thanks to other generous, thanks to generous other streamers that hosted me when I was getting started. So I like to do the same for other people that are getting going. I'm going to find us something to watch. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. Let's see what is out there. Some guy playing Legacy, Death, and Taxes. Modern is a fun and interactive format. He is playing the new Tamir Moon with the new fetches. Stick Walrus is playing Goblin Engineer. That's fun. We were playing a little bit of Goblin Engineer the other night. We were playing the I'll just pull it up with Stream Decker. We were playing Planebound combo in Prison. You need so many pieces. We actually didn't pull off the combo once. Surprise, surprise. So you need Accomplice, right? You may put a Planeswalker from your hand onto the battlefield, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step for 1 red on a 1/3 for 3. So you need 2 Planeswalkers with different names. So you need Koth Karn Chandrakarn or Chandrakoth. Because Koth plus 2 mountains plus Accomplice is infinite mana as long as you can return it, right? So how are we returning them? Cloudstone Curio, baby. This was Jade pitched to me the other day. So yeah, Curio, Accomplice, and then 2 different named walkers in this scheme. And they die. Mono Green Tron. There's got to be something sweet going on. Conley's playing Enduring Ideal. That's sweet. Might host over to Conley. No wonder you guys aren't here. I'm doing fair things with Pyromancer, but Conley's playing some freaking. Ooh, wait. That's why nobody's here. Everybody's watching Evan playing Goblins. I'm going to host over to my teammate. I just noticed. I'll see you guys. I didn't even realize that Evan was live with Black Red Goblins. I'm going to host over to him. I will see you guys on the next BrewSpytheMagicGuy. Let Evan know what we played tonight. Tell him we played Crabgaak, Bridgevine. He'll know what that is now because I told him about the list the other day. And let him know that we were jamming some really, really fair decks today, actually. Playing straight up Mardudu Saheeli. Mardudu Saheeli Pyro. But I'll see you guys. Say hi for me. Say hi to Evan for me. He's a great guy. You'll enjoy his stream. Good night, guys.